Guys, how you doing today? This is David Lucas back here again. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back again to my channel. I really appreciate you guys coming back here, checking my channel again. I know it's been a little while, but don't worry. I'm still posted. I'm still here. I'm still good. I'm still healthy, doing good. I hope you're all healthy, doing good. Now, during this quarantine, to be honest, I've watched a lot of movies, and I know it's bad to admit that I've watched a lot of movies and haven't been posting videos. I'm sorry, but don't worry, that's changing, I promise. I'm gonna have a whole list of movies that I've watched and that I'm ready to review. One of the first movies that I'm really ready to review that I seen when this quarantine thing all started, that I'm really excited for, is the movie starring Ryan Gosling, Drive. Now, let me just say right off the bat that Drive is probably, I just seen this recently, just when this whole thing started. I never seen it before. This was my first time watching it, and I gotta say, after my first time watching it, I think this is like one of my favorite movies ever made. Definitely in my top 5, I think now. This is definitely in my top 5 favorite movies ever made. Now, Drive stars Ryan Gosling, Bryan Cranston, and Ron Perlman in this movie. This movie came out before really Ryan Gosling was really known to be a good actor. This was, at the time this movie came out, Ryan Gosling was just, I think, just saying the Notebook guy. That's all he was really known for, was a Notebook. And this film, I think, really put him on the pedestal of other people to see him. The basic whole plot of this movie is a story about a stunt driver for movies who is also secretly a getaway driver for criminals. He ends up meeting a girl who has a kid, and also her husband just gets released from prison, which starts a whole chain of events that basically sets up the child end up getting in danger from something the husband did that he, after getting out of jail, something he did that put him in jail. They end up getting in danger, and as since they get in danger, the driver, main character, ends up getting a kind of attachment to these kids, to these people, and he ends up setting himself up on a journey to save them. I know I already said this before, but I'm going to say this again. This movie is a damn masterpiece to me. I actually really love this movie a lot. Everything down to the look of the movie, the cinematography in this movie, the music that they put in, the 80s kind of vibe music that they put in, they kind of mix it up to fit the tone of the movie. The whole acting, everyone's performance in this movie. Ryan Gosling gives out probably the best performance he's ever given, that I've seen at least. I absolutely just loved everything about this movie. I don't think I could find one bad thing about this movie that I can think of. One bad thing I think I can think of with this movie, and it's not even a bad thing, it may be just a little nitpick, is that, yeah, the plot does seem a little generic. It's a little bit generic plot at front face. But once you actually go into this movie and actually watch this movie and pay attention to it, you will understand that this plot is a very different kind of movie than what you think it's going to be. And that's why I say it's not even really a complaint. It's just, if anything to complain about, that could be something. But it honestly doesn't hurt the movie at all. It actually brings the movie up more. Editing in this movie is so perfect, and it makes the movie flow so good. Literally from start to finish, you're hooked onto the movie, you're staring right at the screen, and you just don't want to miss anything about this movie because it's honestly very interesting, very intriguing. The characters are very intriguing. There's no dull moments. There's no slow moments in this movie. It moves at a perfect pace. It's not too fast. It doesn't go too slow. It's just at a perfect, steady pace all throughout the movie that keeps you hooked and keeps you interested. And when it's over, it's like, oh, wow. Huh. That was a journey, because that's how I felt after this movie was over. I was like, whoa, that was a fun ride. And that's just how good it's edited, how good it's paced. It's so perfectly well done. Now, the main character driver, played by Ryan Gosling in here, is a very, very interesting character, because you really don't know much about him at the start of it. You don't know much about him at all, but Ryan Gosling's performance in this is so good. The facial expressions he makes, the kind of way how he looks at people, or how he reacts to certain situations. It all tells you how this character is. You don't need to see any flashbacks. You don't need to see any origin story of how he became. He is just, you see it through the performance. You see it through how Ryan Gosling moves his eyes, how he reacts. Like I said, how he reacts to certain situations that happen in this movie. He reacts a certain way. And without him actually sitting here telling you this is his viewpoint on something, you can just tell this is how he views the situation. This is how he reacts to this kind of situation. And it's done so perfectly well by the direction and by the actor. And as the movie gets on, you end up learning more about this character. You end up learning about his past, about where he came from, but it's not in a way that you would expect. It's done in such a beautifully directed and performed way, which I keep on saying that this is his best performance I've ever seen Ryan Gosling do. This movie proves that he is a fantastic actor, and I've always thought he was a great actor to begin with, but this movie just shows it right off the bat that, yeah, he is a fantastic actor. Love how throughout the movie you can see the build-up, and there's another thing on his performance. It's so great, because you see the build-up in this movie of him finally exploding, and the scene he explodes and goes crazy. I always sat there like, whoa! Whoa, did not see that coming, but damn, that was good. And throughout this movie, you see the build-up and is how he slowly gets more angry and more fidgetive and more kind of loose. Like there's one scene when he's sitting down and he's eating something or drinking a coffee and someone comes up by him and tries talking to him with someone who he knows. He's like, hey, I remember you from this or that. And he just explodes on the person out of nowhere. And right there is when you go like, oh, this dude is ready to explode. He's a ticking time bomb. And I really love that. It really isn't a bad performance. I know I keep on talking about Ryan Gosling and how great he was in this movie, but as a whole cast, this movie was all performed beautifully. And I thought it was performed great by every person. Every person in this movie did the roles perfectly, and it was just perfect. That's why I say this movie is so freaking perfect. I just love talking about it. Now, like I said about the plot, the movie, it does almost seem like it's a kind of generic same plot. This is going to be the same kind of car movie that we see all the time. But really, it's not. It really isn't, and I like that. It does seem familiar, but yet they kind of flip it over your head, and then the writers and directors are like, you thought it was this kind of movie, but really it's this kind of movie. And I like that. I love it when movies do that. And lastly, what I just want to say that about this film is that, damn, the coloring on this film is so beautiful. I'm just entranced looking at this film, looking at the beautiful cinematography of him driving and him looking out the mirrors, and you see the color of the city, the color of the lights, the color of the inside of the car, when he's inside of a building, when he's inside of the elevator, the kind of yellow color. That's, like, I just love it. I love everything about this movie. It's a perfect movie. It's a perfect film, perfectly performed film, perfectly written, perfectly directed. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It's definitely a top 10 or top 5 possibly best movies of what I've ever seen in my life. And I just seen this recently. I can't believe it just took me this long to see this movie, because this movie's been out for quite a while now. And damn, I love this movie. I love it a lot. So my final grade I have to give to this movie, it's probably no surpriser, but I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. Yes, this is a full-on 10 out of 10 movie. It's an A+ movie. I loved it. I adore it. And I honestly want to go back and watch it right now, because I'm talking about it right now. I just want to go back and watch it, because there's so much hidden stuff in this movie. Hidden stuff that you have to look at and study. It's such a great movie. I love this movie a lot. If you have not seen Drive, starring Ryan Gosling, I highly recommend you go see and Drive. I really like it. It's on Netflix. I believe that's where I watched it, on Netflix. It is on Netflix. If you have Netflix, go watch it. If you haven't already, I highly recommend this movie. And that's it for my review today for Drive. And thank you again for watching. I always appreciate it, and I always appreciate your support that you always give me, everyone. I always appreciate it, and make sure you stay tuned for my next video coming out soon. I'm definitely going to start posting a lot more now, because I know I'm getting back in the groove now. It took me a little bit, but now I'm starting to get back in the groove now, and I start performing a little bit. And if you look over there, I got myself some lights, so I need to get some more lights over there and decorate a little more. I'm going to get back on it and get back onto my YouTubing and posting videos or reviews or anything. Don't worry. And I got some Batman news coming out soon, so make sure you guys stick tuned and stay with me for those, because I can't wait to put out some more Batman videos. Can't wait to put out more reviews of the movies I've been watching and show you guys the movies I've been watching. Make sure if you like this movie, and if you like this review, make sure you go and subscribe to my channel and give it a like, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.